Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So a lot of people worrying about, is this the top in the markets? Okay, so the thing that we need to understand is we need to look at the momentum here in the markets. Okay, so I'm going to erase a few trend lines off. I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to delete this one as well too, okay? Now, firstly, what do we see here with the Dow Jones? Let's have a look at the very short time or short-term period. Let's bring up the hourly chart here for just a minute. And I'm going to bring up this, I'm going to squeeze this up on the hourly chart. Now, what do we see here on the hourly chart here, okay? What do we see here? Is we see that we're still in a very nice bull market here. Let's just bring up this one right here, okay? All right, so we're still in a very nice big bull market through here, okay? So this 60-minute chart is gone there. So if we're going to start to see a bit of a correction, a bit of a pullback in the markets, well, we'll start to break some significant levels in the markets, okay? So the first level here is that I can see that on the short-term basis, that we would need to start breaking something that goes along through there, okay? So on a short-term basis, if we're going to start seeing a correction this week in the markets, we would need to firstly start to break above trend lines like this here, because this trend line here, this main level through here, has indeed been a massive support level to this market here, right? So you can see how it's bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. So if it holds here and continues up, well, then it's just probably continuing this big bull market. But on a short-term basis, we would probably like to start to see a close below this level through here, because once that happens, then it's probably likely to start to tip over and probably likely to start to go through there. Makes sense? So we could see that this is actually going on through here. We're still really going through there. So if I bring up the daily chart now and I open this daily chart up through here once again, all right, and I can see this daily chart here once again. I can look, this is the daily chart now, but you can see that this very short-term period, if we're going to see some sort of a pullback this week, then we would need to see a close below there. Once that happens, then yeah, we could probably see possibly even a retracement back down towards these levels through here, because that's the next major resistance level through there. So if we do start to break below that level through there, that's when we need to start to be a bit more cautious about a potential retracement in the markets. And so you can see that that's what's going on through there. You can also start to look at some Fibonacci levels as well too. And as you can see, the 38% and down to 50% retracement is down towards there, pretty much down towards my 52 moving average, which doesn't really matter on this chart here, because you can see it just goes above and below it. So you can see that that's what's going on through there. So we can see moving on. Now, if we do hold here and we could just continue up from here, which we have a very high probability, then we can see how that, if I bring up my weekly chart, we're in a very big long-term. Actually, let's bring up this monthly chart. We're in a very big long-term channel through here. And it does look like that 29 or 30,000 Dow is probably likely to start to see some levels being hit through here. Makes sense? So you can really see that through there. And you can see this now, guys. Stuff like this in my, in johnsflashsale.com, I start to teach you a lot of stuff about reading charts in there. If you want to learn more about that, then just go there. But you can see here, you can see how this whole level through here has indeed been an area of a target, area of resistance, area of where the market is likely to run to. So if we do start to hold this level through here and we continue up, well, then we're probably likely to continue up from there. You can see how that if I bring up, you can see how that if I bring up, say, this level through here, it was that, you see this level through here, that's when this market ran up, when we had a pullback, when we broke it, that's when we had a pullback, right? Let me bring this level up through here, right there, right? When we bounced, when we had a pullback, that's when we broke it. We start to slowly go up, bounce. When we broke it, that's when we saw a pullback in the markets. So you can see that that's what's going on through there, right? Really having a deep pullback through there. So a holding here, and then when it broke, the breaking caused a little bit of a pullback. Now, not a crash, okay? Not a crash. What was it? It was just a little bit of a pullback. Run up, pullback, run up. So if we do break this level, right, that's when we can start to say, what? Oh, we're probably due for a pullback in the markets. And then depending on what happens after the pullback, that's when we can start to say, is this the top or not? Right now, there's no form of analysis saying that this is likely to be the top, the exact top, because there's just nothing there in the markets there. So we can see that that's what's going on there with the Dow Jones. But once again, if we continue looking at this weekly chart, and if I just delete all those other trend lines off now, actually, you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just show everything off here. If you can see what's going on through here, if I bring up my good old Snagit tool now, you can see that this level here, okay? And guys, this is one thing that's actually made me do so well in the markets, is learning the art of just reading the market for what it is. See, we're never smarter than the markets. I'm not smarter than the markets. And it's so important, okay? It's so important to just continue to read what the markets are telling you, as well of having a really good trading system that you follow and that you can find there, and so on and so forth. So if you'd like to learn my trading system, how I scan the markets and have all my trading done in a day, see my scanner, and how I trade options, then just go to johnslivetraining.com. You'll be able to see the link in the description as well to join my next free training, and I'll walk you through all that. But you can see through here, right? Look at this here. We had all this resistance through here, and now we're just starting to slightly break out through here. So that tells me we have a high, a low, breaking out. We're just breaking out after really all this sideways movement through here. So we probably have a bit more of a time to run. Because we've been going sideways so long, we're probably likely to continue running up to 29 and maybe even overshoot that to 30,000. But it may just continue going slow, just like we're doing right now. You can see, if I go back to my daily chart, you can see how we have a low, a high low, a small little high low. But you can see how it's very slowly going up. It's not a bullet out of a gate. It's not just going bam, bam, bam. It's just slowly going up. So that's what you probably could expect it to continue to do as this goes. And you can see back even like at the start of the year, right? Look at this here. It just slowly went up day by day, right? Little bar, little bar, little bar, little bar, little bar, little bar, little bar. So you can see how we actually had all these little bars going up all the way up through there. And then we had a bit of a pullback, and then little bar, little bar, little bar. So that's what we can expect with the Dow Jones. And now moving over through to the S&P 500, we can see that on the S&P 500, we can see the same sort of thing as well too, right? We can see that once we actually broke this trend line, right, we had a downward movement. Once we actually broke this trend line, then we had a downward movement. Not much going on through there, but now we can also see what? We're actually going through a short-term channel through here. So this is the short-term channel that's going on right now on the S&P 500. So as you can see, right, let me just bring this up through to here. Let me just make sure that everything is good to go on this level through here, right? And then we can see that there's, right? So on the short-term basis, if we're worried about some sort of a pullback this week, well, it'll probably likely to start to see a breaking of this level through here, right? So a breaking and a breaking down of this level through here. If we hold and we continue to slowly going up like it's been doing, well then on my weekly chart, I can see that we actually got a very strong channel around this level through here. Now it's around about that area. It's not the exact area, but probably around where my arrow is probably where the S&P is probably likely to head up to over time. We may get a little bit of a pullback, but then over time we're probably likely to head up towards that 3,200, even up to 3,250 as well too. And you can really see these levels through here in the markets there. And same for, if I go to the Nasdaq, same for the Nasdaq as well too. Once we start breaking these levels through here, all right, once we start to break these levels from here to here, this short-term basis through here is probably where the market is likely to start to have at least a bit of a pullback. So if we're worried about this being even a short-term top, meaning is it likely to be a short-term top around here, then it's so important to keep an eye on this channel, these trend lines, because once we do start to break as you can see, breaking, pullback. Once we broke it, once we break these levels, we see a pullback. We see a pullback, we see a pullback. So you can continue to see these pullbacks in the markets there. Make sense? So as this market is continuing to unfold this week, keep an eye on these trend lines here, guys, because it really, really, really is important to do that. And, you know, on top of there, guys, make sure that whatever system you're following, all right, whatever system you're following, whatever system that you follow in the markets, make sure you continue to follow that, okay? And be really strict with that, because that's where your foundation to your success in the markets really is. And that's what's going to really, really help you move forward in the markets. And please, guys, please, if one thing that I really want you to focus on this week is not putting too much risk on per trade, trying to make a lot of money per trade. You put a trade on, you accept up front that this one trade you get into today may be a losing trade. That's just trading itself, okay? And not trying to be right of every single trade, not trying to make money every single trade, but you get in because it's a plan, and some trades are losers, most trades are profits. That's just the way my trading works, right? I get into the trade, I don't know if it's going to be a profit or a loss, but some trades are losses, most trades are profits. And we can start to have a high probability trading system. And then like what I do, I use scanning technologies to find these trades. So I only have to trade an hour per day. And then I use options. You can really start to accumulate, you know, really, really, really good success in the markets. But whatever you guys do, just make sure you stick to a very high probability trading strategy. Hey traders, I'm running a flash sale. It's a $7 flash sale to my brand new Grab the Markets by the Balls trading course. If you go to johnsflashsale.com, you can get access to the $7 massive sale that I'm doing right now for a short time. So go to johnsflashsale.com and I'll see you over there.